Okay, so wait a minute. Are you excited about the question or are you excited about the picture?
I'm excited about both the picture and the question.
The picture and the question. Okay, so anyway, we're like really happy today, so we're really hyped up because...
We only had to work for 10 minutes, bitches! Alright!
But yeah, we got VTO, which is voluntary time off.
Which means we don't get paid for the day,
but we get the fucking day off. And technically...
we work on commissions.
And we already got paid, so it's not like, you know... I mean, I already got paid.
You already got paid.
You're going to get screwed, but...
yeah, I get paid tomorrow.
You get paid more than me per hour anyway. So, anyway, we have VTO for the day, so we're kind of sitting here. I'm already in my boxers. She hasn't even gotten in out of her clothes. You aren't chillaxing at all. You're still in your work clothes. Rip it off! Take it off!
Alright. Yeah, how do you know you're a fat kid when your clothes don't fit so much anymore that, you know...
you get stuck taking it off!
You feel the need to take off your clothes the moment you come home because nothing fits. But, wait, I have, like, really loose baggy shirts.
Woo woo! I can't whistle for shit. So, anyway. We're really happy today. Derp, derp, derp. So, anyway, we got another question, and let me see here. It is by, I can't pronounce that name at all.
Let me see.
Sevizelperd? I'm just going to call you 777. 777.
That works.
777 works. Okay. Anyway, 777. Asked, I wanted to ask you this for a while, but where do your stitchpunks come from? I mean, were they all made by a single creator, a group of involved people, government products, or what? Oh my god. When I got up before Hannah in this case, and it was, I read this question, and I was like, oh my god, so I bolted up the stairs, and I ran into the room, I'm like, get up, we got the coolest motherfucking question ever.
She woke me up, I'm sitting here going, what? And then I was like, oh, that's an awesome question!
Granted, she's still in bed, me, I'm hopping around the bedroom like, yes! So, anyway, where do our stitchpunks come from?
Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the original crew?
I actually have a list of everything here.
Oh god, this notepad is so huge.
I know, right? So, anyway, okay, we have, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 entire sets of stitchpunks. 7 different types of stitchpunks. No set is the same in terms of backstory, creator, or anything.
Mind you, a set, according to my RagNBone universe rules, a set is 9.
And sometimes the set can be less than 9 if things
the set
happen.
Can be less than 9 if things happen, or the creator is or the creator say didn't make all the sets before they died, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah. So we have, how many sets did I just say?
7, I think.
7? Okay. We have 7 sets, I think. So anyway, each of these sets we take control of. Later in the role play, we started splitting the sets apart. That way we would have half, and Hannah would have half. That way,
and it was kind of awesome because
it was nice.
This lets us give more diversity to the group.
Yeah, because I mean, we started
that with the New York crew, didn't we?
With the New York crew, yes, and with that particular crew,
was so fun.
It's really nice when you get to do that because you get the opportunity to not know what the fuck is going on, and we still came out with a wonderful backstory for these guys, even though we did not show each other our designs beforehand.
Yeah, it was kind of awesome.
We didn't show each other what the names are. We didn't tell each other anything about that. We just brought them in as we needed to.
One of my favorite members of the New York crew, who I've named my computer after, Wooster, I drew him 5 minutes before I introduced him into the roleplay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what he looked like. I was like,
She knew who he was.
I knew what he was going to do, a little bit. And then he started doing shit, I didn't expect.
Yeah. So anyway.
The notebook thing wasn't expected. That whole notebook thing that started all that mess with him. Yeah, that wasn't expected.
Okay, so we have 7 groups. We'll go through each of them. Now, we're not going to introduce all of the characters or all of the backstory because that's kind of a secret.
Now, we may not refer to them by name, but we may refer to some characters because you asked about where they come from. Some characters, later on in the comic, we're not going to talk about them, but we are going to talk about where they came from to give you an idea.
So, first up is the Evepunks, which was entirely created by Shrineart. This is kind of the group that dragged me kicking and screaming into the 9 fandom.
And it's funny because the Evepunks actually started out as their own story. They were part of my fanfiction 3x3, which has kind of been canceled since RagNBone has taken over.
Yeah.
But 3x3 was basically going to be a story of the Evepunks after they were created out in the wilderness and out in the emptiness, and basically them meeting up with 9, 7, 3, and 4, and saving some members of their own crew because there were some of the members of their own crew get kidnapped by machines. But
that got flipped over
entirely.
That
got totally changed. So basically, the Eve Punks, their creator's name is Eve Robertson. I figure I can give this away since I've already shown her and everything.
Yeah.
Eve Robertson was a librarian. To give you a little bit of backstory on Eve, librarian, British native. She moved to Munich after the First World War.
I can actually pull up our timeline.
She moved to Munich after the First World War, and she actually did dictation for a man named Dietrich Engelmann. And Dietrich is actually the scientist. Now, that's her connection to the scientist, and this is actually how she gets involved with making the Stitchpunks. She, basically, she also has a younger brother named Joseph. He was a member of the Rebels. There's not too much with that in the story so far, but it is yet again, another connection with her to the scientist, because that's how she kept in contact with them. Now, basically, she had looked into creating Stitchpunks and was missing certain key pieces of information, which she got through Joseph because he was in contact with the scientist. Now, when she decided to actually make Stitchpunks, it was not to save mankind and to make everything all better. No, not at all. She made them because Eve was stuck on the outskirts of Munich during the war.
Munich, Germany is pretty much where we're placing the events of the 9 movie. It's kind of insinuated in the commentary that Munich was kind of the
not even
mainstream.
Munich itself, but just...
Not Munich, but like southern Germany.
Yeah, southern Germany.
In general.
So we placed it there, and it's kind of the ground zero. That's where Dietrich lived, and that's where everything... In RagNBone verse, of course. You know, everyone's got their own take on it, but in RagNBone verse, that's where Dietrich lived, and this is what happened. And
octopus raping a wombat.
That's
all I see on your commissions page.
I drew an octopus raping a wombat.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, so...
Sorry, derail.
So, she was living in this area outside of the... Just on the outskirts of Munich, and during the bombings, the gas they're using, we've actually compared it as being similar to mustard gas, which mustard gas, if anybody has really read much up on it, you know, trench warfare... It does tend to cling low to the ground. The gas that we're saying that they used in the 9 story has some similar traits as far as it's a heavy gas, it clings low to the ground, so it sits in pockets kind of on the ground. Now the problem with this is that, you know, obviously, that all those scenes in the movie where, you know, all of the plants shrivel up and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it contaminates the groundwater, it kills everything in the soil, it kills all the people that are nearby when it's released. But... it does dissipate, and it clings low to the ground. So if you're in a high area, certain higher areas of Munich, we're left with Munich, certain higher areas of Munich were left alive. So you have people stranded in Munich, which just kind of makes this about 100 times more terrifying.
I know, it really does.
Because the gas masks at the time didn't work.
Yeah.
So
they were very flimsy.
So Eve is stranded in an area like this. She has this limited range of where she can go. Luckily, she is in an area where there are shops nearby, so she does have some provisions that she can get to. It's just, those are going to run out.
Yeah,
eventually.
obviously.
So, basically, she is trapped. She's wondering if her brother is alive. She's waiting for her brother to get back. She has the scientist's notes, and she's lonely. So she
Let's make some babies!
She tries to make a Stitchpunk just to see if it'll work, because she's a scientifically minded person, and why the hell not? Gonna die anyway.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
She makes Twain. Twain was actually made to be a male Stitchpunk and came out being female, and she just kind of went from there. And the reason why she does complete the set, unlike some other creators who may not complete the set because they want to stay alive, because she knows the consequences. She knows the rule of 3x3, that, you know, if she uses up all of her soul, she's going to die. The reason why she does it anyway is because she's already dying and she's not going to survive. She knows she's not going to survive the war. She knows that where she's at, she's going to die. So a year, I think it was a year, right? It's a year after she makes them.
Let's see.
Because it's on Twain's, the anniversary of Twain's birth.
Yeah, which is November 12th. She creates Twain.
Lives a year with these guys and creates Poe on the eve of the anniversary of Twain's creation.
Yeah, which was the final creation.
Yeah. And that was, what year was that?
That was 1990. 1899 was pretty much when all the main shit happened.
So, you mean 1900, not 1990?
1900. 1900.
Yeah, so 1900, she creates Poe, then she dies. Which leaves the Eve Punks alone in a house in the middle of the
alone! Sorry. Meme.
So there's that set's sort of backstory. Is there anything else you can think of to add to that, or not?
Not really. I mean, she wasn't like the scientist where she created them like one day after the other. She did take her time.
She spaced them out, and the reason why was because she knew the consequences. So she wanted to.
And in addition to this, because they're spaced out like that, they have really, really tight family ties. They're probably the most homely set of creations that we have because they were able to stay with their creator, whereas scientists just kind of brushed his off after a few days.
Lewis even considers her mom. I mean, and one of the things about it is, and they never called her mom. They never called each other by any family names. They just kind of knew it was there. And one of the things about that set in particular, you'll notice that they do have kind of garish colors, and they're kind of different. Yeah. But the reason for this is because,
she's things around the house.
She's working with things she has. Twain is actually made out of mattress ticking fabric and part of her mother's wedding gown.
Lewis is made out of a chair we are never going to find.
No, Lewis is made out of the chair. He's made out of the curtains that match the chair.
He's made out of the curtains that match the chair that we're never going to find.
For some reason, in every story I have, every character, like there has to be one character that has a parlor or a den or a library, and it's always in green paisley or green damask. I do not know why.
You said it was from back in your childhood.
When I was a kid, there was this atrium room of our house, and it's a ridiculously small room to make this big of an impression on me. It had stairs that went upstairs. It had a record player. Wow, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? It had a record player and a piano in it. And a record player and piano in it, and it had these gorgeous double French doors. We lived in an old school, like farm/school house when I was a kid, and I loved this place.
Kind of Victorian era.
Yes! Oh my god, I loved it. But so
fangasm there.
So it was called. My mom called it the atrium because it's a really tiny room, and all it has in it is a piano, a record player, and stairs. And the carpet was avocado green, like we're talking army green. It was.
We're talking Lewis green,
the ugliest color for carpet ever, because it was so nasty. And then the walls were covered
in damask,
green and brown damask.
This has got to be like the best house ever.
And I freaking love it. You don't even know. I love.
I can imagine just put Lewis all over the walls.
If I could buy that house back, I so would.
I would buy that farmhouse I found.
5 acres, two-story house.
20 acres, Civil War hospital turned into a farmhouse. I would kill to have that place back.
But yeah, so this room totally inspired Lewis, and it's inspired a room in every house I've had since. Like every character's house I've made since.
And if you've noticed, all of our artworort with these guys,
most
of the time it has damask in the background.
I don't know why. It's just I really like that pattern apparently. But no. So he's made out of curtains. Dickens, honest to God, Dickens and Tolstoy are technically I think made out of the same fabric, but I don't even know what it is.
Hemingway. What was Hemingway made?
Hemingway is made out of a suit that belonged to her grandfather.
Yeah, and then Brad
is made out of a mechanic's uniform that belonged to her father, and because her father helped form the Royal Air Force, because the Royal Air Force formed right after the Great War, and the Great War was 10 years before World War II, which in RagNBone, World War II is the Machines War. Yeah,
we kind of had to go through hell to set up this timeline, because after watching the Blu-ray commentary, reading the original screenplay, which we do have, pretty much we had to dig through everything, and then we had to sit here and plan out year by year the shit that happened.
And admittedly, Shane's kind of stated, "Oh, hey, we just kind of derped things in there."
Yeah, and because of that, we were like, okay, so we do have some
any one time frame.
Yeah,
honestly.
and he gave us a general theme for it, and from there we didn't stray too far away from his idea, but we did have to push it back into the 1800s versus the 1900s, like it was intended.
The Great War takes place earlier than it does in our history. Etc., etc., etc.
It actually takes place, let me see here, our World War I, which inspires the fabrication machine. It's not part of it. Started in 1885. It ended in 1889. After that, that's when the fab machine was created, in 1899.